Hey, welcome back YouTube, 6fthax here, and I have for you guys today the second installment of my top 5 favorite Pokemon. And for today's typing, we will be doing water types. Now I want to go ahead and say thank you to everybody for the amazing support on the first episode. If you may have missed that, a link to that will be down in the description. Let's try to aim for 60 likes on the second episode. Also, if you don't agree with my top 5, which is 100% my opinion, then let me know what your top 5 favorite water types are in the comment section below. Now again, I will not be doing legendaries, and every Pokemon that is on this list, if it is a dual typing, must have water as their primary typing or their only typing, not their secondary typing, because I felt like that was a bit of a cop-out. So if you want to follow these two restrictions, then by all means feel free to do so. I just did them for myself to make this a little bit more fun and a little bit more challenging. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this started. At number 5, we have one Pokemon that was introduced this generation that was a totem Pokemon in game, and I remember people tweeting out about how challenging this totem trial really was in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and that is Wishiwashi. Now Wishiwashi is a Pokemon that I honestly did not expect to like as much as I do now. It was really one of those Pokemon that, yeah, I love the design, I think it looks really cool, but at the same time it has an abysmal speed stat, lackluster HP, and a kind of bad ability. But if you take a look at Wishiwashi in its school form, its offensive stats are absolutely insane. It also has crazy bulk with 130 defense and 135 SPDF, and a physical attack and special attack of 140. Now yes, its ability may not be that great because once it gets below 25% HP, it turns back to its solo form, but while it is in its school form, this thing is an absolute monster. Did you know that this thing can intimidate a Gyarados? That is what it says in its Pokédex entry, that Gyarados run away from this giant monster. Moving on to number 4. Now this Pokemon has held a special place in my heart since 4th Gen NU, back when I first really started getting into competitive play, and I was really hoping that Ash would evolve this into the form that I'm about to mention, but of course we all know how Ash is, and he doesn't want to evolve any of his Pokemon. So at number 4 we have FLOATZEL. Now FLOATZEL is a very fast Pokemon, and it can hit very hard as well. I remember running the special set all the way back in 4th Gen NU, which is now very popular in PU. I can definitely see this thing being in the lower tiers again, and I really hope that FLOATZEL will be used a bit more once Pokebank is released, so I can start claiming some souls, especially with it being able to have access to Swift Swim in the rain. This thing is going to be an absolute monster, not to mention that it also has a pretty decent hidden ability in Water Veil, allowing for it to not get burned. It also has great supportive moves such as Switcheroo, Toxic, even Baton Pass. People could run a Baton Pass set with Bulk Up or even Agility to support one of your main sweepers. It has a hard hitting special attack in Hydro Pump, and its physical offensive moves are actually not that bad either. Through my runs of Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl, I was always searching to get a Weasel so I could evolve it into FLOATZEL and just start destroying everything in game. Moving on to number 3. Now I remember when I first saw this Pokemon in the actual anime, I was like, this thing is absolutely destructive. This Pokemon is nothing but a powerhouse, and that is KINGDRA. Did you know KINGDRA is 5 foot 11 inches? This thing is almost as tall as me. I beat it by 1 inch. This thing is humongous. Like, if I stood next to this, I would probably be a little bit scared, especially if I saw it somewhere underwater. This thing can hit absolutely hard. There's so many different sets that one can run on KINGDRA. You can go Dragon Dance, you can go Special in the Rain, you can go Mixed in the Rain, you can go Specs, Life Orb, you can even try the Agility, Scope, Lens, Focus, Energy, KINGDRA set, which is absolutely destructive if you are able to set it up correctly. This thing is an absolute monster. It's so powerful that it can even create whirlpools just by yawning. That should tell you just how massively powerful this Pokemon really can be. It sleeps on the sea floor kind of by itself where there's no other Pokemon around, and it only comes out when there are storms or some type of hurricanes in search of prey. This thing can destroy everything in its path. It gets access to Hydro Pump and Draco Meter. We all know how powerful a Choice Specs Modest Hydro Pump in the rain can be. And coming from a Kingdra, nothing is living, man. I don't care if you have Storm Drain. I don't care if you're a grass type. You are not living that hit. It's going to bypass Storm Drain and utterly nuke anything that is across the field. Moving on to number 2, we have a bit of a special Pokemon. I did not really watch the anime when this Pokemon was introduced into it, but I do know that Brock had one of these because I remember watching it early on when he had his little Lotad and his little Lombre. And yes, you may know which Pokemon this is, and that is Ludicolo. Ludicolo is an absolutely amazing Pokemon. I remember back in 5th Gen NU, man, this thing was easily like top 3 biggest threats in the tier. Modest, Rain Dance with Hydro Pump, Giga Drain, and Ice Beam. If you did not have a proper special wall or something to deal with this monster, once you were able to get up that Rain Dance in the ring with its speed doubled and Life Orb and max special attack Modest, even Timid is destructive, and it has seen some use recently in 6th Gen NU. So I'm really hoping that once Pokebank is out, Ludicolo may get some more usage even in the higher tiers, along with some of the other Swift Swim Pokemon, because Ludicolo can definitely hit hard. The Rain Dish, it can even be an even more annoying, bulky, tanky mon to deal with. Substitute, Protect, Leech Seed, and Giga Drain with Rain Dish in the rain. Ooh, this thing is never dying. On to number 1. Now this may not be surprising to many of you who followed my UCL Season 2 run. Yes, you already know which Pokemon I am talking about. I'm talking about my Tortuga. I'm talking about the man himself, the OG Gen 1 monster, and that is Blastoise. I remember when I first played Pokemon Leaf Green that I borrowed for one of my friends, I had a level 90 Blastoise after beating the Elite Four and completing all the extra after game stuff, trying to catch all the new 2nd gen Pokemon that were introduced after you beat the Elite Four. Man, I was just wrecking shop with Blastoise and claiming souls, and I was so sad when I had to restart the game because I didn't have another copy of the game at the time and I really wanted to play through it. But on my first initial run with Leaf Green, I will always remember that I had Blastoise there just helping me throughout the game. I remember having Mega Kick and Mega Punch, man, with Surf and with even Skull Bash, man. Skull Bash was that move in Gen 1 for Blastoise. This thing was able to destroy so many things, and then in 6th Gen, it got a Mega Evolution, making it even more of a monster. And much to my surprise, I did not think Mega Blastoise would be as good as it was in the 2nd season of the UCL, but he turned out to ultimately be the mascot of the Durham Dragons, and everybody loved Tortuga, definitely coming through, only choking once, but it's okay. He was able to redeem himself in every other match that he had, and he was able to pick us up some very key victories and was one of the leading forces behind us being able to ultimately win the 2nd season of the UCL. So yeah guys, that was my top 5 favorite water types. Again, let me know what your top 5 favorite water types are in the comment section below, and let's try to bump this up to 60 likes. Thank you to everybody for the amazing support again on the first episode. Many more to come because I will be going through every typing in Pokemon so far. So thank you all for watching, guys. Later, everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in the knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.